right. So the Arizona Cardinals got in the news recently and for kind of a different way. So Pro Football Focus does a yearly ranking of the best head coaches in the NFL. They use a lot of advanced analytics to get there, and we'll spare you the details there. But it has a lot to do of looking at what points are created versus what is expected from a head coach perspective, basically the value added of a head coach. And surprising to a lot of people, Kliff Kingsbury was ranked the number four best head coach in the NFL. Offensively, he finished ranked third out of the 26 coaches that qualified, according to PFF. Miles, what do you think of Kingsbury ranking being so high? I mean, he's ahead of guys like Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, some Super Bowl winners.
It's honestly very surprising to me. You know, if I was to do it off my gut, I don't think Kingsbury would be in my top 5. I think he could maybe sneak into my top 10. But when you break it down by the numbers, what they're saying kind of makes sense to me. And I just wonder who's in front of Kingsbury. Who are the 3 in front of him?
Yeah, so at number 1, you've got Belichick. Makes sense. Number 2 is John Harbaugh with the Baltimore Ravens. That's a good one too. And number 3 is Andy Reid. So the list kind of makes sense. And when you see the guys around Kingsbury, you've got Pete Carroll, you've got Kyle Shanahan, you've got Mike Vrabel. So you've got like the list. All the other positions kind of make sense. So that kind of supports the theory that maybe they're onto something here, that Kingsbury is a much better coach than the widespread NFL media is giving him credit for.
Kingsbury started out slow, but ever since he's gotten Kyler Murray, they've been pretty hot. They've put up a lot of numbers. He runs a very productive offense, as we know. But I think, if he can do a little bit better job of reining in some of the big personalities on the team, getting the social aspect under control, he really does. The Cardinals are one of those teams that when you see them on your schedule, it's really like, oh God, I don't want to play the Cardinals. They have a strong offense. Their defense is pretty stout. They've got a lot of playmakers there. I don't want to play them. It's kind of they're a pain. They're sticker in the side. I can see where they're coming from, because overall the Cardinals are a very good team, don't you think?
Well, yeah, and you brought up the fact, Kyler Murray, adding that into the fold. So Murray was actually Kingsbury's first pick, right? Because they went away from Josh Rosen. He was the previous regime, Steve Wilkes' pick, and they moved away from him, going with Murray, which obviously was the right move. But I want to break down the history of the Cardinals the last few years for you to kind of look at this. So of the last 8 head coaches for the Arizona Cardinals, only 2 have records of 500 or better. One is Bruce Arians, quality head coach, obviously. The other guy is Kliff Kingsbury. And there's a lot of other good coaches on the list. You've got Buddy Ryan, one of the all-time great defensive coaches. Dennis Green, all-time great coach. They couldn't break 500 with the Cardinals. So that's some good evidence there. And you brought up the fact that Kingsbury has been an offensive mind in that unique offense. How about this? In the 2 years before Kingsbury joined the Arizona Cardinals, the Cardinals finished 25th and 32nd in points per game. In the 3 years since he's joined, starting in 2019, they've gotten much better every year, 16th, 13th, and now 11th. So when you look at the numbers and you look at what has happened in the Cardinals organization, and of course, obviously what they've done on the football field, rapidly getting better each year with Kingsbury in terms of wins, there's actually a really strong argument that Kingsbury is one heck of a coach.
Yeah, and I think, that's one thing you have to think about. The position they enter and how they progress that position. Like you look at the Bucs now with their new head coaching staff. He's gotten into a really strong position there. Obviously, he's coming out of the gate with Tom Brady still at the helm of the team. Both sides of the ball pretty loaded. They're going to be in a good position, so he's going to start off rather hot. I think if you look at the totality of the circumstances, Kingsbury came into, I guess, a waning situation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he came and he's bringing it up every single year. There's been big leaps on both sides of the ball. So I don't necessarily disagree. And the 3 coaches ahead of him, I would say, yeah, I would automatically, Harbaugh should probably be 1, but Belichick, I'll debate it. But outside of that, Kingsbury, I think he's probably a solid head coach, and it's just the general media perception of him is one thing. He is like this young playboy doing all kinds of stuff. He's got a big house out there doing, and everyone always like pegs him to go back to some other college team. But if you take all that noise out, he's been a very successful coach so far in his career. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.